Hello and welcome to Empower and Engage with Cami. We're going to be learning about the tool Cami and how to provide feedback that will empower and engage our students, our teachers, or anybody that we're working with. And we're going to be looking again at research-based strategies, but also using Cami to help support us. Right here is a one pager. So I'm going to throw in the chat the link to the Cami. We're going to be on a collaborative Cami today where you will be able to explore all of the different tools and features hands-on. So again, in the chat is the link to the Cami. Go ahead and click and join us on the Cami. Once you have joined, you'll notice that there is a one pager. This is a resource for you for after the session. So once you click here, you're going to be able to see the session recap. There will be session resources. This is the Cami we're working on. So if you wanted to come back or see any of the tools, this is the link for you. There's also that video. So the video, you can come back and recap, rewind, pause, and rewatch as many times as you need to. And then if you need help, make sure you schedule a free follow-up session. We're here and we are happy to help you. And then if you want more, you can follow Cami on Twitter for inspiring ideas that you can incorporate into your classroom. There's also a Facebook group that you can join to talk with like-minded educators. And if you're ready for more, there are more instructional strategies and ways that you can use Cami alongside with them. And so this one is the visual essay. And again, it's a video that will walk you through how to use Cami with using a visual essay. So a little bit about me, if you don't know me, is my name is Stephanie Howe, and I am excited to walk through how to use Cami because this is a great tool to allow your students to collaborate, communicate, and they have voice and choice. Students are able to come in here and determine how they want to respond to a prompt. They can use voice, they can use video, they can type. So there's a lot of different voice and choice for our students along with accessibility features. Make sure you follow Cami again for all of those inspiring lesson ideas. And we're going to first read 3 comments. And I just want you to think about, how do these comments make you feel? Okay, so when you're thinking about these comments, how do they make you feel? So this first one is your work needs improvement. It's just not good enough. Okay, think about how that makes you feel. The second one, your essay demonstrates a strong understanding of the topic and your arguments are well supported with evidence. However, I recommend revisiting your conclusion to provide a more concise summary of your main points. How does that one make you feel? And then number 3, great work. How does that make you feel? Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to get into the Cami tools. And again, we're kind of thinking about those comments and how they make us feel. So over here on the left-hand side is a navigation tool. And we're going to go ahead and toggle to see our descriptions. So you might have this view, but if you toggle it, you're able to see all of the description laid out for you. We're going to click Add Media. Once we click Add Media, we now have some options. Again, this is one of the reasons I love Cami, is all of the options that we're able to integrate into our lessons. And we're going to use the camera app. So again, on the left-hand side, if it's shown like this, it's the little icon right here, or you can toggle it out and hit Add Media. I'm going to go ahead and click the camera, and your face should pop up. And once it does, you are going to take a picture explaining your emotion to each of these 3 comments. So again, you're going to go to Add Media, you're going to click Camera, and then you're going to take a picture of your emotions when you are reading these comments. And I'm going to set a 1-minute timer for you to do that, and we'll start seeing images pop up on the screen. All right, and our timer is up. So we have some images here. So I'm going to be honest with you. This one right here, your work needs improvement. It's just not good enough. It kind of makes me feel upset. What's not good enough about my work? What is it about me and my work that makes me feel a little bit upset? This one right here, where we have more of a detailed or outlined of our feedback, I kind of have that light bulb moment, and I wish I could add a little light bulb on to my head and kind of just explain, like, oh, I know my next steps. I know what to do. And then this final one, I have kind of the thinking face, like, awesome, but what did I do a great job with? So that is how those comments make me feel. And I can't wait to see what your reactions are when they come in. And so now we have John Hattie, some research just to support why feedback is so important, but also how to implement it. And so when it comes to research, it shows a 0.73 effect size. And what that just means is John Hattie has done some studies, and if it's past the zero point 0.4 hinge, then our students will show more than a year's growth of in their learning using these high impactful strategies. And so again, that 0.73 is a really high number. And so feedback is something that you should incorporate. It's worth your time when you are teaching with your students. So just some best practices. Do not use feedback to judge students' work. Okay. So we don't want to just go in and judge our students and kind of think about, oh, they did this wrong, or I can't believe this, and just being really negative. Okay. So again, we don't want to be judgmental about their work. Using criteria, this can be really helpful. So if you're able to have a rubric or some, like, this is the success criteria in order to master this standard, that can be really helpful too. And plus, then you're able to give feedback that is very standard for all of your students and to have expectations. You can also want to suggest next steps for improvement. So just like this comment, it talked about what next steps I needed to do with my conclusion. I was able to kind of clearly know. And then it needs to be timely. We can't be waiting 3 weeks after students turn this in. It needs to be pretty quick so we're able to review that feedback with them. And then we can kind of practice how to give feedback, because if we go back up here, we kind of go back and we reflect and we're like, oh, I'm just not good enough. Like, that doesn't help. That's not helpful feedback. This one right here is more helpful because, again, it outlines and gives more details on that feedback. And then right here, we just have great work. Well, what did I do well? What is the great work that I did? And so when we're thinking about that, this can help you when we're getting into how to give good feedback. So kudos are great ways to kind of think about and reflect on what needs to be done with that feedback. They're notes of appreciation or maybe admiration. So this is an example for giving feedback to a teacher, okay? And what you'll do if you're working with students is you'll just change the topics. So everything else, the stems and the adjectives can stay, but you'll just change your topics. Your topics are, what are your success criteria? What are your expectations? What are you wanting your students to learn? And what I like to do is when I'm kind of in classes, I like to go ahead and I might pick the drawing tool. Okay, so over here in Kami, there's a drawing tool. And you can either circle or highlight on here which ones you really like to use, or you can go up to the markup tool. So again, you can use two tools here to think about and give kudos to another adult or a student. And again, you can use the drawing tool or that markup tool. And if I wanted to use that drawing tool, again, I can just kind of circle, I can highlight, I can draw whatever I want on the screen. If I'm using the markup tool in Kami, I can come over here and I have a text highlighter and I have a freehand highlighter. And I also have a box highlighter. So there's a couple different options here. And you'll kind of notice what each of these do. And I love to use this when I am just kind of needing to brainstorm or annotate on a article. So right here again, we've got our text highlighter. So if I am using my text highlighter, I'm just going to highlight it, and you can just see it makes a perfect little highlight for me. There's also the freehand highlighter, which you'll notice I didn't make a straight line. So I don't always use this one, but it's sometimes kind of fun just to have the little curves within there. And then there is that box highlighter as well. So you can kind of see here, I'm making like a bigger box of what I want to highlight. So my favorite is the text highlighter because it makes that perfect box for me. And then I can come down here and do this one. Okay, and I just love those crisp lines. So again, you've got a couple different ways to use that highlighter tool. And let's go ahead and let's think about maybe everybody pick a different color. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick yellow. And to pick those different colors, you just pick right here. It says more colors, that canvas. And then you can go to any color you want. You're also able to go to the picker and you can decide any of these colors that you would like to use as well. So again, I'm going to go ahead and do yellow. You can pick whatever color you want to use. And I want you to think about what are maybe some notes that we could give to somebody to show them that we appreciate with them. So here's an example. I appreciate how you, so I'm going to go ahead and highlight that. And then what I'm really appreciative of how they conferenced with their students. So right here, I just am going to highlight this one. And then I want to use the words, I want to adjectivize using thoughtful, and I want to use motivating. Okay, so this teacher that was conferencing with students was very thoughtful and motivating in those students' writing. Okay, so that is going to be my stem. So I've got my stem, my topic, and my adjective. And again, I want you to practice using that markup tool to think about something that you could give feedback on when it comes to your learners or your teachers, or maybe you're working with a colleague and you really notice something. Okay, so that's the first step is you're going to walk through the stems, the topics, and then the adjectives. And now we're ready to give that feedback. So we're not just saying great job here. We're really giving detailed feedback so our learners know their next steps. And one way that we're able to share these exciting moments with our collaborator teachers or with students is we have a bunch of tools in Kami. So right here, you can check out these tools and features that are available in Kami. We're just going to go over 4 of them for today's session, but if you need support, there is free support where you can hop on a call and learn more. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that link in the chat, but again, it's right here in our Canvas. And when you click this link, it's going to go over all of these tools and features that you can learn a little bit more about when it comes to using Kami, and you get a quick summary, but sometimes again, it's best just to get in and click and see what it does as well. So this first one is the annotation bank. So when we're going into Kami, you're going to want to toggle the slide bar. And once you do that, there is a annotation bank over here. When I click this, I can create folders and I can create banks where I am able to have all of these comments already written out. So that way, when I am giving feedback, I could already kind of create some of these. And then when I'm looking over their work, I can just click and I can drag them around as well if I maybe want that one up top. But then when I'm ready to use it, I can go over to this comment bar, text comment, and then I would just start typing. Great. And look at all the greats that I had within my annotation bank. So I'm going to go ahead and click this one. And you can see here, I've went ahead and I've already bulk planned those comments. And then I can just come in here and change a few words or provide examples from that student's work. So when I'm giving feedback, this can be a huge time saver using that annotation bank where I just come in, I make up those comments, and then again, I can replace or re-say whatever I need to within that comment bank. Another tool that I can use is this voice comment. So when I'm thinking about using that voice comment, I can come in and again, I go over to my toolbar. And if you want to get rid of this bar, you're just going to click this toggle slide bar. So if you want to see those comments right here, that's where you do that. And then you can kind of toggle it away. If you want to add one to the bank, you'll click this little box and then you'll just confirm that you want to add it. Once you add it in there, you will be able to see it down here. And then you can move it to a folder if you want it in some type of folder, just to start organizing them. I really like to keep them organized so that way I know, okay, I have my argumentative writing laid out. I have my language and grammar. I have just writing. So this just kind of helps me organize my thoughts and my ideas when I am creating these. And then again, you just click that pencil and you can update them at any time. So let's go ahead and toggle that sidebar so that way we can go into voice comments. So when we're looking at voice comments, what we're going to be able to do is our students are going to be able to hear our voice. So I might not be able to meet with my student right at that time. And I can then leave them a comment. They're able to hear the tone in my voice and they're able to understand what I might be saying. And so right here is this little microphone. I just click it, and once you click it, it starts to record. So once I decide that I'm going to want it right here in the student's piece of work, you can see here we've got it recording my voice, and it is going to keep recording until I hit this stop. So just remember, as soon as you click and you have the little marker down, it starts to record. And then you can listen. And guess what? You can save these to your annotation bank as well, which is really helpful if you want to kind of bulk plan or look over those success criterias and go ahead and make those comments available to you. Video comments are another way that you can communicate with your students. There's two different types of video comments. I can do a video comment where my students would be able to see me when I click. So again, as soon as you click, it starts to record. And you can see here that it is recording right now. And then I can click done. And there's my little video. Again, I can save these in my annotation bank. There's also a screen capture one. So maybe I had my students work and I want to kind of explain. Let's go ahead and share this. I want to explain what they're doing. I love that I have this tool because I can use the markup tool, I can use the drawing tool, and I can kind of circle or explain, like right here, you need to fix something. And my students will be able to see that in the video. So this can be really helpful as well. But again, kind of think about what is your purpose? What do I really want my students to focus on? So here is that video as well. And guess what? You can save that into your annotation bank as well. Another one is inserting an image. So maybe I had some type of good job sticker. And in Cami, they also have stickers. So I could add a sticker where I go to add media, and I could come in here and I could add a sticker. Or I can add my own stickers. So if I go to add media, I can go to either Google Drive or my computer. And on my computer, then I could add that sticker of whatever I saved. And you can actually make stickers in Canva. So you could custom make them as well and then bring them right into Cami. So think about how you might want to start thinking about how do I want to start communicating and giving my students feedback. And another way that you could do this is allow them some choice. You could put these like little icons up at the top of your students' work, and then they could circle how they want to receive feedback. So maybe they want a voice comment, maybe they want a video comment, maybe they want an insert image to get feedback. So again, you can kind of allow your students choice, or you can kind of decide depending on the assignment or how you want to give that feedback to your students. So again, we talked about looking over and going up here to this toggle slide bar. We've got all of these comments that we can create, and you can actually start to organize them into folders. And you also have the add media where we added an image from either, you could even do your own image like we practiced before. And you can also add stickers. There's also that comment feature where you can leave text comments, voice comments, video comments, and a screen capture. So lots of options for your students. Just a reminder that as soon as you click, it will start recording. So let's practice. Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to give kudos to somebody. So think about somebody that you can give kudos to. And somebody that you're really excited to share some feedback with. This could be a student, this could be another teacher. So when I am thinking about kudos, I am going to go ahead and I am going to use um, the audio feature. So I'm going to use a voice comment. Marcus, I appreciate how you conference with students, providing them thoughtful and motivating next steps in their writing. Okay, I've just added that right into my Cami, and now if I click play, I can re-listen to that comment. So again, making a voice or video comment can make it very much appreciative, and go ahead and leave a comment to somebody to show them appreciation. Just go ahead and practice and go back up here to what we highlighted and use those stems, that topic and that adjective to really go in and personalize that feedback to them. Now, on this one, we have an example of a student who said, copy the reindeer. And what I want you to think about is how would you provide feedback that is actionable to this student? Okay, so how would you provide feedback to this student? So first, it might help to know the student. Okay, what the student was supposed to do is they were supposed to take this reindeer and actually draw it over here, but they said Control C, Control V. And so, do you have a comment already in the comment bank? You could use one of these comments. So again, we would just be able to, let me go ahead and go back. We'd be able to click comment. We want text comment. And then you would, again, just start typing. And anytime it sees those letters pop up, you have all of those options, and then you can decide which one it is. I'm going to go ahead and toggle that slide bar away. And we can also leave video comments, or we can leave voice comments. So thinking about this student, I'm going to go ahead and leave them a video comment. That way they can see my emotion. Okay, so again, right here, I'm going to click the video, and I don't want them to see the screen. I want them to actually just see me. So I'm going to go ahead and click it. And then again, when I click on here, it's going to start recording. You solved this problem with such a creative approach, and I can tell you have really great technology knowledge, and it's really amazing. However, if we wanted another student to redraw this reindeer based on your example, is there a way that maybe you could try this again? So now the student can kind of see like my concern about what he did. Like, yes, you're very clever. I can point that out. But then I'm able to leave them a video. Or maybe I want to leave them a voice comment. So again, if I wanted to do that voice comment, I can click here and I can click. You definitely know your computer shortcut keys. I wonder if you can try to use the grid to redo or re-show the reindeer by hand. Okay, so again, you can kind of see here, I've got two comments. I've got a video comment, or I can use that voice comment to explain to my student what they might need improvement on and what they've done really well. All right. So these are just some fun ways that you can level up when it comes to using Cami in your classroom and giving feedback. There are soundboards. So if you click on this link, you'll notice that there is a soundboard right here. If I click here, there are all these different sounds that I can kind of use to encourage my students. And I can leave them, again, that video feedback, or I can leave them audio feedback, and I can incorporate that sound within that feedback. So let's go ahead and let's kind of see how that might work. So I'm going to go again to our comment, and I'm going to leave a voice comment. Right. So I'm going to go ahead and tell the student, maybe using that chart again, what they did a really good job with. I like how you communicated the lesson objectives with your student. It was very knowledgeable, and you also engaged them by providing the why when you asked them about why this mattered to their community, not just them and focusing on them. You're really focusing on how it maybe affected the students in their community. So great job on that. So you can see how I was able to use that soundboard within my feedback just to help engage my learners when it comes to giving feedback. Another thing that I might do is use songs. Songs are another great way to communicate with our students. So this time I'm going to do a video comment because I want to kind of upscale this. So let's go ahead and when we click, again, it starts to record. Okay, so I am so excited about your work. Everything that you did is awesome. You did such a great job when you had your ability to look over and conference with your students on their mastery checks. You provided them support and you were so passionate about making sure that you met with every single learner and you provided personal feedback to them. And I appreciate that. And again, you are awesome. So there is another way that you could kind of use that feedback with your students by playing a song. So having that song being played can just be a fun way that you can up it. And again, have a dance party with your students, celebrate your teachers, and provide that music when you are giving them that feedback. Okay, the last one is probably one of my favorites, and it is using a bubble gun. Okay, so we want to celebrate our students, we want to fail forward with them. And so, one of my favorites is using a bubble gun. And so, when it comes to giving feedback and using that bubble gun, I can come in here. And again, I want to use the video again so they can see me. Okay. And I'm going to go back up here to my sentence stems just because I'm still trying to get really good at giving feedback. And eventually this will become natural to you that you won't really need the stems, the topic, and the adjectives. It will just become part of your language. But until then, keep using this as a guide and a scaffold. All right. I want to highlight how you did a fantastic job organizing your Google Classroom. You were so organized and you were so focused on your students and thinking about their perspective first. So, awesome job on thinking about your students, but also providing that feedback that you have organized it in a way that you no longer need to use that steam like the stream. You can use the classwork and teaching your students how to turn it in. So again, innovative, great ideas when you're organizing that Google Classroom. Let's celebrate. Oh man, I need more bubbles. So you can just see how providing bubbles within that lesson can be just fun. Okay. So think about ways that you can engage your teachers when it comes to using bubbles and helping them be more thoughtful and their feedback and celebrate them. I think a lot of times teachers are not celebrated. And so when we can think about different ways to level up our feedback, have fun, and show our personality, our teachers are going to be engaged, and so will our students. So if you want more, please reach out. There's my email and there's my Twitter. And I also just want to throw in the chat if you need support, sign up for a free training. Okay, so it's also over here as well. This link will take you to a free training sign up, and it's really simple to use. You just click which area you're in, you're going to submit it, and then you can decide, is it something quick? Do you maybe want best for troubleshooting or adding maybe some ideas or a refresher session? Or are you looking for maybe a group training session with like a group of people? So think about what you might need to kind of your next steps. And if you need support with using Cami or getting ideas, sign up for that free training where we can support you and learn alongside of you. Thanks for joining today. I had a lot of fun learning how to empower and engage our feedback using Cami. And again, reach out if you have any questions at all.